Eureka, a word used to describe the euphoria and joy of discovering something new, whether that be discovering something about the large world before you, or simply something about your own self. It is a truly fitting term to describe today's anime review. Hello everybody, Crucius here and welcome back to Bromedy. Today on the docket we've got Psalms of Planets, Eureka 7, an anime with an incredible reputation and praise amongst its viewers and critics. But is this warranted? Or is this just typical blind love for yet another anime series? Let's find out, shall we? First off, this anime series was released in the spring of 2005 and continued for a full year, finishing up in the spring of 2006, due to its length of 50 episodes. It was produced by the wonderful people over at Studio Bones, and I think Bromedy has been very clear that Studio Bones always provides consistent quality in their work. As said before, they are known for such series as Soul Eater, Full Metal Alchemist, Ghost Sick, and more recently, Space Dandy. Alright, let's talk about the characters of the show, possibly the most praised feature concerning this anime. First off, we have Renton Thurston. Renton is your typical young protagonist in the fact that he's kind of whiny, has no true sense of maturity yet, and relies on his blind determination and dependency on his older comrades through the earlier parts of the anime. Renton is from a small town where his only dream is to be able to go lifting like the famed members of the Gecko State. And on one day in his boring, normal life that he so wishes to escape from, he is greeted by a crash landing from the armored unit known as the Nirvash and its pilot, Eureka. Now this is where Renton finally becomes a developing character. Renton, due to his early heroics, is allowed to become a member of the Gecko State and follow along with Eureka. Renton is smitten by her, even though she is almost emotionless and focused on the Nirvash and the Gecko State at all times. She is usually compared to famed characters such as Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis Evangelion and Yuki Nagato from The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Eureka, our second character, is obviously a member of the Gecko State and the pilot of the famed Nirvash, but she is also a Corallian. Now, Corallians are the beings that are connected with the scub corals, which, according to the military, have taken over the Earth and are the reason they are on this new planet of Canaan. And yes, I know this is a lot of terminology to take in, but I'll explain more of that once we get to the story aspect. Eureka is constantly learning from her comrades how to be more human, especially from Renton. She learns what it means to love others, what defines a family, and what the weight of death is to a human, making her into an amazing character as the show progresses. This can also be said for Renton, who learns how to take responsibility for his roles and protect those he cares about by working with his team and becoming the true man that his legendary father wanted him to be. I'll digress from those two for now and talk about a few other characters that also need mentioning. First off, we have Holla, Novak, and Tahoe.
I'm ready, I'm a lady.
The two main characters that are featured aboard the crew of the Gecko State. Holland is a crude leader who is constantly beating up Renton for his mishaps, even though Renton has always idolized him for his lifting skills and his famed status. Holland is one of those characters with a clouded past, which is something you get to discover as the anime goes along. He is also beyond protective of Eureka and doesn't want Renton to get too close, even though this is obviously inevitable. As a character that is shrouded in mystery, it's hard to describe him early on as anything but an enigma. However, thanks to the lovely yet totally crazy Tahoe, we are allowed to see more into his character. Holland is the love of Tahoe. Now I say it in that respect because Tahoe is always fighting for the attention of Holland, even if it means wearing skimpy clothing and acting all aloof at times. Yet she's always there encouraging him to never run away and to handle his role as the Gecko State leader, even though that's not really clear either until the late parts of the show. Honestly, I believe that Tahoe is one of the best characters in the show. She's a character that has already changed once you meet her. The amazing thing about Tahoe is she's able to revert to her true self and her true personality because she becomes content in trusting in Holland and knows that he stands by her and is not going to run away from his fate. Next, we have Dominique and Anemone, and I won't say much about these two other than they are obvious mirror images to Renton and Eureka, but from the side of the antagonist. And I hear the complaint from a lot of fans of the show that they wanted to see more of these two, but now that I've actually seen the entire show, I believe they fulfilled the role in the time that they had. They represented the side that was evil, but able to relate to the protagonist and find the righteous path, quote unquote, and even find their own loving relationship in the end, which is obviously what all you fans wanted. Am I right? And lastly, I'll mention Dewey Novak, and if that doesn't shout spoiler, I don't know what will, but maybe it'll be overlooked. I don't know. Anyway, Commander Dewey is the true antagonist of the show, looking for a way to make the world void of scub coral and Corallian alike, and purge them for the sake of the humans. Simply put, he's a dick. Now that lengthy part is over with, let's quickly discuss the animation and sound. Animation, as previously mentioned, done by Studio Bones. Bones always does great work, but I've always wondered how they stack up to animation quality when it comes to shows that have a lot of action sequences. And they did not disappoint. Their animation of the trapper waves and the aerial battles involved with the Nirvash were very well done, and overall I was extremely impressed with the animation in this show. Now also, onto the sound, I can say that this is one of the best full soundtracks I have personally ever heard. I personally mentioned to Marcus that this soundtrack has a lot of beautiful instrumentals mixed in with some funky songs as well. And it's always interesting to have such a grandiose song and then in the next episode have a chill, catchy one to appear as well. And this show does offer a variety of types of music, but a few soundtracks that stand out to me are Days, which would be the first opening. Story Rider is also a very popular song. And lastly, Sprinting Spirits, which is one of my personal favorites, and is one of the most epic songs that I have ever heard going into a climactic event. So, with all this positive talk and we're finally here at the story, can it continue? Well, let's find out. Obviously, the story begins with Renton and Eureka and the crew of the Gecko State. But they aren't the lifting for life crew that Renton thought they were. They're actually fugitives doing shady deals just to make money to eat on. Well, we are taking on several side trips until we learn that Eureka must pick a partner to pilot the Nirvash with, and ultimately cross the Great Wall, as it was declared, but which is never truly clarified until the end of the show on what that actually means. Obviously, this young loving relationship turns into this desired team. As they grow as a couple, so does their teamwork and resolve to end things peacefully and stop all the deadly situations that are occurring. Where the story struggles is the use of so many large terms. Even though through very attentive listening you can understand everything, it was really over the top. I mean, listen to these. Seventh Swell Effect, the Voderact, the Amidadra, the Scub Corals, the Corallians, the Kute class, the Great Wall, the Zone, the Trappers, the Limit of Questions. All of these were vaguely explained in the anime and left to a lot of interpretation by the viewer. Now, I love this show for the most part and focused on its themes intently, and even I was struggling with some of these and understanding what they meant, but I will digress from those. Now we get to the part of the story that I hate. After being with some great characters, watching them become their final product, and waiting for this end-of-the-world amazing ending, I get to see all the logic behind those terms thrown out the window because someone thought it would be a good ending to allow the Nirvash to just magically become overpowered with only one member of its team actually in the Nirvash. Then it rewrites all the laws that made these set of events occur and become a shonen-filled powerhouse flying in to save the day and give everyone their happy ending. Their happy bad ending, because it was bad. And it didn't have to be this way, and I'm utterly disappointed. Note that I do love the fact that Eureka and Renton were willing to give up their own true selves to be together, tying the whole relationship into a beautiful bow-bound bond between two great characters. But when you throw out all the previous knowledge on all these big terms, and just so you can have like a shonen-style ending, it's just disappointing. But I'll stop myself there because a lot of people may consider this to be a minor flaw, but I don't. I think that it was building up to something better, and we settled for less. Now for the dub and sub. I haven't watched the sub, so I cannot say how this version is, but the dub contains A-list voice actors Johnny Young Bosch and Crispin Freeman, and that was good enough for me. So, also not to mention that Eureka and Tahoe were also expertly voiced by Stephanie Shea and Kate Higgins, respectively, and I enjoyed their performance. And a special mention to Melissa Fawn and Patrick Seitz for the performance as Charles and Ray towards the middle of the show. I personally really enjoyed those characters and felt it was worth a side mention. Finally, the scores. A show with amazing characters, quality of sound and animation, but they couldn't tie it together with that blow-your-mind ending. And I know I'm complaining about that, but overall this was a really good show. Therefore, my overall enjoyment rating gets a 9 out of 10, and Bromedy rates Psalms of Planets Eureka 7 an 8.0 out of 10, tying it with Cowboy Bebop towards the top of our list. Even though I'd give Cowboy Bebop the nod as the better anime due to an amazing ending, which it actually had, and it possessed all the quality that Eureka 7 offered, even as a 90s anime. With that being said, thank you for listening to this rather long review coming from only one person. I'm kind of shocked it actually lasted this long without my bros here. But feel free to check out our other anime reviews, our top 10 lists, Marcus's Character Study Classroom, which should have an upcoming installment if I'm not mistaken, and keep an eye out for some of our gaming footage as well in the near future. Leave us a like if you enjoy what we do here, and consider subscribing to become a member of the Island of Bromedy. And always thanks for listening and for the support you give us. Feel free to talk to us and tell us what you'd like to see here on the channel. We always love to hear from y'all. And this is Crucius once again, signing out. Don't beg for things, do it yourself, or else you'll never achieve anything. Bye guys! Special thanks to my friend Leslie Crafton for recommending this show. I know it's her favorite anime and I've been wanting to do this review for her for a while. It was a really good show. Thank you for the recommendation. We loved it. Love you. Bye.